You are listening to Chicagoland's finest podcast. The all-new Culture Cast begins now.
I am the Gorehound.
And I'm Jen.
And we are the all-new Culture Cast. What's going on,
Woo!
Jen?
Just, hanging out. Summer is finally here in suburban Chicagoland.
Yes, I've got my window open right now, so you are very likely going to hear either a motorcycle or a car drive by. But hey, that's what you get for summers in Chicago.
Yeah, no, it was winter up until now it's summer. So, it was a tough winter to get through because there was just a lot of it.
Yeah.
All year long. And so anyway, so I am very pleased because I am a warm weather baby.
Yeah, the sun makes everybody happier.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about wine country.
All right. Nick will be joining us very shortly. He was pestering us to get a podcast out, and then he's like, I'm going to be a little late.
Yeah. I mean, he thinks just because he had a baby.
I have no idea how he has any time, but we'll rip on him once he gets here. So, why don't you catch us up?
What have you been watching?
Okay, so probably the most interesting thing I've seen recently was I went with some lady friends and went and saw Booksmart.
Okay, that looked like a lady friends type of movie.
Absolutely. So it's basically two girls who worked very hard all through high school and didn't have a lot of fun, suddenly realized that all the burnouts and everyone else is also going to fancy colleges. So they decide they're going to go, kind of like have that last night of high school parties. And so it's, the night before graduation, and they have to go find the big party and, of course, chase after various crushes and, all of that. I definitely loved it. I am definitely also...
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were referring to some other movie that's out right now. Booksmart did look very good.
No, Booksmart was very good. It felt very grounded in 2019 in a way that I really appreciate for a high school movie, that they weren't kind of going for, like, entirely timeless, that they kind of went for something where they were like, no, this is like grounded in a real time and place.
Yeah.
It's a little vague, I feel like, in terms of like the school. The school definitely feels like it, like, is this a private school? Is this a public school? Like, what, it's definitely some like heightened reality going on with the school.
Yeah.
But I thought it was very well done. I think the two leads were phenomenal. I think they actually did a really great job casting all the other kids in the school. I mean, obviously everyone's actually like 23. But they all are like, it was mostly unknowns.
I presume we've never seen them before.
Yeah, no. So the two leads you've seen in other stuff. And then there's like, Lisa Kudrow plays a mom, that kind of thing. Like, obviously you've seen her before, but in terms of like the young people, other than the two leads, who have been in, I believe, Last Man Standing and Lady Bird, probably a few other things. Other than those two, the rest of them you basically haven't seen in anything. One of them is Cuba Gooding Jr.'s kid, which is pretty delightful.
Yeah.
But other than that, you're not. These are all kind of unknowns. They've been in, maybe they've been in something, but nothing you've heard of or seen. And I just thought they did a really great job, like, rounding out the school and so anyway, it was, I feel like one of the things...
It sounds optimistic.
Oh, yeah. If there's one thing and I've said this before, but I think a lot of comedy movies end up very shaggy because they have decided that comedy movies all need to be, like, half improv.
Yeah.
This one definitely suffers from being a little shaggy. Not as bad as some movies, but it's a little shaggy. There's definitely parts you can tell where they were like, just come up with something and, whatever. And, I'm not crazy about that. But other than that, I'd say one of the things they really did well was they kept the, there's a lot of like interesting directorial flourishes and like I said, they do such a good job with like the characters and kind of exploring a subset of people that, you don't really hear from kind of the overachievers in a way where they're, it's different than like a Tracy flick from 20 years ago, where it's like, no, these people were like friendly with their classmates. They just kind of on some level thought they were better than them.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting to kind of see that on screen. And anyway, so I liked it a lot. It's still playing in theaters as far as I know. So if you get the chance, people should go see it.
I will probably see it, but probably that doesn't seem like a movie I would see in theaters.
See, and I think people keep saying that it bombed. I don't know if it bombed, but I think they put it in too many theaters. I think we're kind of reaching a point in the, not to get too crazy here, but I do think we're kind of reaching a point with theaters and movies now where the only thing people are going to go see in theaters are either spectacles, kids movies, Marvel, DCU, that kind of thing.
To ping pong off of you, I just saw Godzilla in theaters.
Well, yeah, because it was big, and you want to see Godzilla be big in a theater.
Yeah, and
how was Godzilla?
Oh, look at this guy!
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
YOLO.
Welcome. How was Godzilla? It was. I'm sure I've mentioned this. I've been looking forward to this movie for about a year, or probably maybe since like the last one. I loved the last one, and I've watched it frequently since then. And this one was so much fun. It's one of those things where I was looking forward to it so much, and I'm such a fan of Godzilla that it was difficult to really appreciate it as a movie. I was just completely enthralled in it the entire time, and for like half the movie I was like tearing up. So I don't really think I'm a good person to say whether it was a good movie or not, but I loved it and I think it was great. So I'm not going to give any spoilers on it, and we could discuss it later because neither of you have seen it, and yeah. So
I can guarantee you I probably won't see it.
And that's what I'm expecting. But I'm fine with that. Jen, what else is going on?
Oh, I mean, I think that's probably the most interesting thing I've seen recently.
That is the most interesting thing that you have seen since we last spoke.
I did watch on Netflix, Always Be My Maybe, which is the new Ali Wong romantic comedy. Starring
that sounds so Jen.
Yeah, and Randall Park, and then there is
that
a
popped up right away.
Cameo from international superstar Keanu Reeves.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that in the trailer where he pops up.
Yeah.
It's almost one of those. Should they have shown that in the trailer? But
wait, is this the same actress? It's not the same actress from his TV show, right?
No. She is. I think she's most known. She had 2 comedy specials. She's also been like a writer on some TV shows and different things. But
wait, how much Keanu is in this movie?
8 minutes, something like that. I mean, it's like an extended cameo kind of thing.
I do like Keanu Reeves a lot.
He's pretty delightful.
To ping pong back, I also saw John Wick 3 in theaters.
Oh my god! So let's talk about the Keanu songs, right?
Yeah, a brief review of it. It was better than the second one. Now, obviously not as good as the first one because the first one actually had the story and emotion behind it, and this one was just a action movie, but it was awesome. So I'll leave it at that. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All
Nick,
right.
what about you?
What have I been watching? I'm guessing that's where we're at right now. Because you guys decided to start without me, you jerks.
All right, well, to be fair, well, actually, I guess I didn't hear that we should start without you, but that's what the Gorehound said we should do.
We're starting without him.
Fake news. What have I been? Well, the Kiwi and I have recently semi-binged watched the TV show Schooled, which is a spin-off of the popular ABC sitcom The Goldbergs. It's entertaining. Recommend it if you like silly comedies that take place in the 90s. I'm sure
What is
there's
the premise of that show? I've never actually seen it, but I feel like I've seen the commercials 1,000 times.
It's a show that takes place in an ambiguous time in the 90s, which is more of it's a device where they could bring in like various elements of the 90s for whatever episode they want to do.
If you were to compare the TV series to another TV
it's
series.
like a workplace comedy that takes place in a school.
Okay.
Starring-
So it's. I thought it was more of a family story.
The Goldbergs is a family story. Schooled is not.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
So in the TV show The Goldbergs, they go the kids attend a school, and this TV show centers completely at that school approximately 10 years after the Goldbergs take place.
That is a weird premise.
How so?
I feel like that's interesting that it's not like I think of like a Blackish and a Grownish, that it's, but Grownish isn't, 10 years in her future. It's she was on the show and now she's spun off into her own show.
Well, all the main characters on the show, with the exception of maybe one or two, had appeared as supporting characters in the Goldbergs.
Mm-hmm. But
So-
it's interesting that it's not like the same time period, that it's 10 years later. Like that is interesting to me. I don't think I've ever seen that from like a spin-off.
I think because the Goldbergs utilizes the 80s to its full advantage, and so I think they wanted this show to utilize the 90s to their full advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Interesting.
which the interesting part about that show is that it originally was supposed to come out like a year ago, but the ABC for whatever reason did not pick up the original pilot, and so they retooled it, and they decided it was going to work now. But what's very interesting, and not to get political, but the original pilot centered squarely on Tim Meadows, who's the principal of the school.
He's the only person in all of these screenshots that I recognize.
More than likely, yes. Tim Meadows and the relationship between his sister, who's now a secretary at the school, and her two daughters. When they retooled it, they jettisoned the sister and one of the daughters on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily because the actress whose name escapes me in the meantime got work elsewhere. But now the show centers on one of the girlfriends of one of the characters on the Goldbergs, who's now grown. It's interesting because it was kind of more of not Tim Meadows is still one of the leads, don't get me wrong. It's more ensemble, I guess, but it's interesting that it was originally pretty much centered around the black characters on the show, and now it's not. Like they eliminated that, and it's like it's an interesting thing. Like again, part of it was because one of the actresses left to do other things, but I don't know. Just an observation.
But this series is making you happy.
It's very funny. I think
Okay.
the Goldbergs is better, but also the Goldbergs have like 6 years behind them, and this only has 13 episodes. But it's very entertaining, and Kiwi and I are both happy that Tim Meadows finally, seemingly, has a successful TV series that he's on. Because I feel like he's the guy. Oh my God! I feel like every year he has a new series that just bombs and doesn't make it.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy that he's finally getting the success that he deserves.
I like
So
Tim
here's
Meadows. He's a good guy.
He pretty much plays
Yeah.
himself in everything he's
Yeah.
in, but that's what makes him great. And the only other thing that we've been watching is that we were donated, inherited, given, I don't know the right term is, the Kiwi's parents had a Roku that they let us play around with, and we finally got it hooked up the other day, and the Kiwi has been obsessed with loading apps onto it.
Yeah, there's a lot of free apps that you can watch like a movie with ads, which is a good like trade-off.
The thing that what we like is that we have a different cable package than her parents, so we log in under her parents' account and we can see the stations that we don't get with our
Yeah.
cable package. So we're finally able to watch things like Freeform and AMC and others that are escaping me. I'm sorry, I'm a little exhausted. I just for reasons.
Yeah.
But
Is it because you had a baby?
well, that and the baby was very fussy last night, and I feel bad for Kiwi because like there's only so much I can actually do, and I'm happy to stay up with the child, but the child tends to be hungry, and I can't necessarily provide that. Last night was a rough night. We went for like an hour and a half drive, and she was like, "No, I'm still awake. Is it 1:30? I don't care."
Because driving makes them go to sleep.
It's supposed to be calming for them, like the vibrations of the car.
So you just like drove around?
Yes.
Yeah. And I bet you did not put on a podcast and you listened to like AM FM radio.
Considering that the baby was like screaming her brains out during half of that drive, I don't think I was in the podcasting mood.
Yeah, you could have put on some hardcore history. That puts me to sleep. Just saying. I mean, no offense to the podcast. It's a great podcast. It just puts me to sleep.
I'll keep that in mind for future.
I suppose you would need a smartphone, but how do we always fall in this crevice of you not having a smartphone?
Because that way, one, me not having a smartphone causes me to not have my phone explode and not have advertisers pinpoint and target me and know all my information.
Moving on.
Oh my God.
See, you know I'm right. That's all I've been watching, but there is something I do want to watch, and I encourage everyone here to watch, even though I haven't seen it yet, because I think we need to do a podcast on it. I believe it's called Beyond the Curve. I
haven't even heard of it.
Oh my gosh, I'm already on it. I watched it.
You know what this is. It's a documentary about flat earthers.
I love flat earthers,
God.
and especially with my career, I just feel like it's so ironic that I love listening to flat earth like theology and ideology.
People don't know this, but the Gorehound's profession is actually that he's the planet.
I'm a cartographer, and so having a flat earth is kind of contradictory to everything that I believe in career-wise.
Because you believe in the flat earth theory.
Oh, I wish I did. I wish. It's just, it's so stupid. But no, I'm very familiar with flat earth ideology. So
a friend of mine said, "Nick, you need to watch this thing."
Yeah,
and I watched
it's a good
the trailer
documentary
for it. It looks hilarious. Like the clip I saw was this guy saying, science tells us this, but you know what? I go outside and I see for myself.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get into it, but it's a neutral standpoint, and these guys just put it out there.
So when we podcast on this, is it just going to be the Gorehound just like yelling about how stupid the whole theory is?
No, because I want to believe it, and I want somebody to succeed.
To succeed in what?
In business without really trying.
Fair enough.
All right.
So that's all. I'm sure there's been other things, but I'm so out of it that I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I finished the next season of Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. I don't know why.
I believe it's called Sabrina.
Is it?
Sabrina?
I don't know. It's
you watched 2 seasons worth and you don't know how to pronounce the main character's name.
I know how to pronounce her name.
Incorrectly.
I don't know why I watch it. It's just a good series that is entertaining, and it's got some horrific elements and satanic elements, which kind of ground me to it. I wouldn't recommend it for anybody, but I just wanted to get on the record. I finished it, and I will probably keep on watching it just because I'm already 2 seasons in. And I'm like, I don't know. It's something that's familiar.
You've committed, and now you gotta see it through.
Yeah, and I do partially enjoy it, and it's kind of difficult to find a TV series that I don't mind. So, besides that, I have been watching the Great British Baking Show in kind of like
that was unexpected.
An episodic way where like I pause it if I step away from it, because it's a good show, and like I said, there's not like a lot of stuff that I'm enjoying watching nowadays, and that makes me happy. I like Paul. He's good. He's a good guy.
Okay.
And obviously Godzilla and John Wick I saw in theaters. I have a T-Mobile Tuesday deal to see Dark Phoenix this weekend, but I have thought it out thoroughly, and I cannot sit through that movie for $4.
Why?
It looks so bad. I hate Sophie Turner, and I couldn't sit through it. It
Did
looks.
Sophie Turner call you a mean name on Instagram?
I don't like her. I think she's a very poor actress. I just don't care for her.
Here's the interesting thing about X-Men Dark Phoenix is that right now, and granted it's earlier in the week, I guess it's not. I have no concept of time anymore. It's getting 23% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, right. Oh my.
Well, I mean, it was on the verge of getting canceled. I think the only reason...
No, it was not going to get canceled. No studio is going to put $200 million into a movie just to cancel it.
No, I mean, pre-production, it was I remember, while they were filming it, they were it's not turning out too well. But, yeah, and I mean, I'm reading the reviews, and they don't look good, and just the story doesn't sound good.
Here's my question about those reviews is, suddenly I've noticed online there's been this thing that the X-Men movies have always been bad. And I'm like, what?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, they're X-Men movies.
I know, but critically and audience reaction, by and large, people have pretty much enjoyed those movies, but within the last 5 to 6 years, people have sort of turned on them because I think the Marvel cinematic stuff has been that's the gold standard. Everything's crap, even though stuff that came out before didn't know how to line up to it. I almost wonder if the bad reviews for Dark Phoenix have less to do about the movie themselves and more to do with, this isn't MCU, so we're going to crap on it.
No, because when I think of X-Men now, I just think of Xavier and Magneto. And
here's what's happening here. Here's what's happening. So, I don't know if you guys have been paying any attention, but we have a lot of movie studios that are sort of merging right now because Disney is buying them, and basically they don't care at all about the X-Men, so they haven't really done much with this movie to promote it because they basically want to reboot it into something in the MCU. So, I mean, not that I can't... Look, I don't really care about the X-Men. I don't have, some major attachment. I saw the first 3.
You love Wolverine.
I saw the first 3 in college and was like, yeah, that was great. Whatever.
They're X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I saw, what was it, Days of Future Past, and I fell asleep for the finale, so who knows what happened. But, I mean, look, I don't care about the X-Men one way or another, but I will say I think they are definitely dumping it with not a lot of promotion because they're trying to kind of let it fail because they took on this project. Essentially, when Disney took over, Fox Studios?
20th Century Fox.
Yeah, 20th Century Fox. So they bought out they bought Fox. And now they're kind of stuck with this. They've already committed, $200 million or whatever to this movie, but they don't care about it because it doesn't matter to their long-term goals. So they're just sort of dumping it, and then they're going to,
See,
and then again, they're going to reboot it.
I don't get that logic. Yes, they're planning rebooting it, and clearly this is going to be the last one with this crew. But if this movie costs, let's say, $200+ million. Whether you're Fox or whoever you have an investment in that movie. You kind of want your money back. And I will admit that there isn't been a lot of promotion. At least it seems very low key. But I don't get this idea that people have that these studios want these movies to fail. That makes no sense to me because
they'll make their money back. It's just it's not going to be a blockbuster.
See, I don't know.
They could have invested a lot of money in promoting it, but then they have to make a sequel, and they don't want to make a sequel because it's not their project.
Well, they don't have to make just because a movie makes money. You would think they would want the movies to be good, so when eventually they do reboot it, people will be like, yeah, those other X-Men movies were good. I'll see the new one. Versus, all those movies suck. Why would I be invested in something new? I don't know.
I mean, look, I agree with you in theory. I would love it if all the studios cared about was about, putting out a great product. But I think
Money.
if you're looking at if you're looking at Disney, the reason that they're rebooting and doing live action remakes of all their kind of Disney classics isn't because they have something artistic in showing Mrs. Teapot being like an actual person or something. There's no art there. It's about kind of rebooting your franchise. It's about reviving your sales of, teapots and blue genies and whatever. I mean, look, I don't want to be the one to explain this to you guys, but it turns out that Hollywood is about making money. Mm-hmm. And the other thing to remember is that not a lot of things are actually making money right now. All that's really making money in theaters, because I was telling Nick, before you got there, we were talking about Booksmart, and one of the things I didn't get into was a lot of people said it flopped because it didn't do huge numbers. I don't know that it flopped, but it definitely, I think a lot of people are kind of avoiding movies unless they're, big spectacle Godzilla type movies. And so anyways, the studios are kind of losing money on a lot of movies right now. And so I think we're going to see a major shift in production.
Can I interject with the Booksmart thing?
That
movie made... I'm sorry, I was pausing for...
But for the record, we are 26 minutes in and haven't gotten to the main topic.
We'll get there.
Okay. I'm just stating the facts.
That movie may have done not like Avengers Endgame money, but so far it's made $16.3 million off of a $6 million budget. That movie was financially successful. Saying the movie flopped, 'cause here's the problem with entertainment journalism. They don't know what they're doing, at least nowadays. Anyone could be a clickbait. It's all about clickbaits. And no one knows what a flop actually is. No one knows what underperforming is. No one knows what a success is. They just want to put out an article that will either A, get people upset so they'll click it and read it, or B, affirm other people's opinions so they click it and read it. So it's very obnoxious that this is where entertainment journalism is currently, and it'll only continue to get worse because, let's face it, entertainment journalism is the lowest form of journalism that there can be. But that annoys me when that, not agenda, but that like message is pushed when certain movies flop, when false.
And I definitely agree with you. I think that first of all, I mean, it's like anything else. I would love it if we counted votes slower. I'd love it if we just, gave things time to breathe, but and if they didn't, I feel like they're so busy reporting how the movie did on Sunday that they're not even giving people time to go see the movie on Sunday.
Wait, I'm sorry, say that again?
Oh, I'm saying that, so they'll start reporting how movies did over the weekend, Sunday morning.
Right.
Without letting people go to the movies on Sunday, and I think that, to a certain extent, kind of predicts how or influences how a movie will do, because if you hear the movie's doing terribly, you think, well, I guess I shouldn't go. Even if it's, just people who were probably less likely to go see a movie on a Saturday night. Who knows?
Moving on.
All right, are we getting into Man Crush Monday?
Man Crush.
Yes, we are. Well, Man Crush Monday. No, it's Man Crush of the Week.
Sure.
Jeez. I'm original. Hassan Minhaj of the what's the Netflix show, The Patriot Act. He is got this. It's almost like a Daily Show type thing. Well, he's from the Daily Show, but I've been watching I watched like one of his episodes and it was really good. And then I listened to him on Dax Shepard, and now I'm basically going through his back catalog of Patriot Act, and I really like this guy. Have you guys watched? Have you guys listened to him or watched?
He had a really great I don't watch Ellen normally, but he had a really great interview on there where he was getting interviewed and his parents were in the audience. It was very cute. You should definitely look it up.
Yeah, no, I really like this guy, and I'm gonna keep on looking through his back catalog because he's also becoming much more popular, and I like him. Just gonna leave it at that.
It'd be great to see him. It'd be great to see, I would really like to see more of him in TV, movies, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, frankly, if he keeps on doing Patriot Act, I'm like, yeah. Because, yeah, he talks about a lot of stuff that I'm like, didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's making me a better person.
God, something should, right?
Yeah. So, all right. Wine Country. Jen, why did we watch this movie?
I watched this movie, and it was a movie I had seen, and said, you know what, we should talk about it.
Because you thought that we would enjoy it?
I think it has some really interesting implications for movies in general, and just sort of, I think it's so. Is Wine Country good? I don't know if it matters. I think what's important right now is seeing how sort of non-traditional, non-four-quadrant movies are doing in streaming services and other kind of non-traditional venues.
Okay.
I think it's, I think it's the kind of movie that would not have gotten made 10 years ago because they would not have thought it would have had an audience.
True. Nick, can you give us the brief premise of this movie?
A group of lifelong friends decide to go to rent a villa, and I'm not sure where it actually is,
Wine
but
Country.
probably California. Yeah.
It's
Well,
Napa.
we
It's
knew
Napa.
Where Wine Country was.
Yeah.
Napa. Okay. I can't remember where specifically they said, but anyway, rent a villa to celebrate Rachel Dratch's 50th birthday, and while there, they have a couple of misadventures in terms of them trying to reconnect their friendship. It's about an hour and a half. Nothing much happens. There's no payoff in the end. And then they go home. Oh, and everyone hates Rachel Dratch's husband, and Rachel Dratch
Brian.
may or may not have slept with Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah. I saw Jason Schwartzman and I was like, okay, there's something I like about this movie. Because Jason Schwartzman as Devin was great. I actually didn't recognize him with the full-on beard.
Really?
Yeah, it took me until the end of the movie when I actually looked it up because I was like, it looks like him, but it doesn't. But yes, that is straight up Jason Schwartzman.
Agreed.
I'm just going to jump into it. I when I first saw the preview for this, and I saw like the cast, like it's a very great cast, like several SNL former.
Tina Fey, Maya Rudolph, Amy Poehler.
Yeah, and the two who were not on SNL were actually writers for SNL.
I didn't know that.
Fun fact. So like clearly and I think they also worked on Tina Fey's and Amy Poehler's other projects. So they all knew one another. So
all of them did have synergy.
So I liked that intrigued me. I like that. I like the cast. I was intrigued by Amy Poehler's I think it was her directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken. But I was just kind of let down by it. I'm like, oh, this is a movie that I just watched, and I will go about my day and never think about this movie again, which is disappointing because I expected, I guess, maybe a tad more. I don't know, but
I didn't get much out of this. It took me 2 or 3 times to sit through it. I was really bored with it. The girl was saying that like it's because it's not my demographic. Like these are 50-year-old women in wine country, and it's just
Do you not like wine?
I don't really try with wine anymore. It's
Interesting.
It's usually like a $5 bottle. I really don't venture outside a $5 bottle of wine. So I think wine tasting is fun. They are very pretty places, but I would frankly just rather go to like a bar or a concert or something like that to hang out with friends. So the crew, I felt like this is kind of derivative of of Bridesmaids. Like, I felt like, in conclusion, this was a subpar Bridesmaids. Obviously, different story, different emotions about it, but like Bridesmaids, I loved. I would watch Bridesmaids, if it was on. I would say. I would never turn it on. But, I mean, there are chick flicks that I think are very good. Neither of these are it. Obviously, I had a difficult time sitting through this. There wasn't any actress or Devin was the only actor or actress in this movie that kept me engaged. I like some of the, I don't know, it was the like white-haired blonde, which I liked.
I think it was Jenny.
Maybe. And the really dark curly hair. I thought their humor was very good. And I thought that, I guess it was Jenny's attraction to Jade. I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And the relationship with the younger crowd. And I thought that was a very good scene with the younger crowd and the art gallery. I was like, oh, it actually evolved. And I'm like, okay, I like that. But not many other scenes really entertained me.
So I think that's interesting. Like I said, I mean, and I think it's okay for movies to not be, aimed towards your demographic at all times.
Yeah. And it was very frustrating because I like when people can't figure out a coffee machine, it's just like, it kind of irks me because I'm like, you don't just stare at it and you make it, staring at a coffee machine doesn't make it work. You play with it until you get it to work. And it's like, they were staring at it for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So
they're also extremely drunk and hungover.
I mean, sure.
Yeah, but still, you have to actually do something to get it to work. When the girl got bit by a snake, I was like, that's not how you react when you get bit by a snake. And I didn't understand the nurse's reaction. Like, he was like, you could have been bit by a snake, or you could have just gotten stabbed by a
like a twig.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's logical. Like, there was no reaction, so she could have just gotten, snagged by a stick. He's only going off of like the result of his exam, and that's what he sees. Like, okay, we have your opinion, but like, that's what I see. So there were a lot of things that were just like irking me about this. So, which those things aren't necessarily needed. Like a chick flick, because that's what this is, right? Is a chick flick.
I don't know. How do you define a chick flick?
I don't know. That's what it felt like. That may not be the proper term, but that's what it felt like. This felt like a chick flick to me, and I didn't see much value in it. All the characters' problems were a bit illogical, and I'm like, what's the possibility of all of these people having like heart-wrenching problems happening at the same exact time?
Listen, I hate to break it to you, but if that sort of like logical problem doesn't work for you, I don't know that media in general is for you.
Right, and I understand like this is a story, that's what's
Sure.
bringing them all together, but I'm like, if I went on a camping trip with like a whole bunch of friends when I'm 50, if every single one of them had like an issue that like just culminated at this moment, I'd be like, this is weird. So I don't know, but at the same time, I'm like, you guys could have just like talked about it. Like that usually solves it.
That's why it's a comedy. People purposely don't talk about things, and
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
where the comedy comes from.
if your problem with a piece of like a source of media is that the people should just talk about their problems, like, I have some bad news for you about 80% of movies, which are a lot of conflicts could be.
Comedies aren't my high point. I don't watch comedies.
That's an interesting perspective.
I know, and I try to watch comedies, but it's like I don't. they're not my high point.
Interesting.
So
Are you mad because they don't have any, nonsense music categories like, speed metal or
I don't listen to speed metal. You know me better.
mermaid anger or
I would listen to some mermaid anger.
yeah, like
So,
that is very interesting. I don't know too many people who don't like comedies. Like
I know, and I wish that I did. Like, my dad is always like, "Of course, who doesn't like comedy?" And I'm like, I
mean,
don't.
Team Gorehound, Dad.
I mean, I don't know who Fran Drescher is, so that flew
What?
over my head.
Stop. How do you not know who Fran Drescher is?
I don't know who Fran Drescher is. Let me
Like
look her up.
Sitcom darling of the mid-90s?
Yeah.
The most annoying voice in the world,
what
but
TV
somehow
series?
it works for her? The Nanny?
Never seen it.
Well, it's on Cozy TV every night at 11 p.m.
Okay, first of all, that's not a real station. Second
No,
of all,
it
are
is-
there
yes,
too many stations?
Yes, it is.
But she has an
So if you
annoying
look-
voice.
Yeah, she has a very stereotypical New York Jew voice.
Okay. I like
But
unique
comical.
voices. I mean,
Okay,
Zelda
well, maybe Fran
Rubinstein
Drescher might
is
be-
all the way up.
She also was in the cinematic classic The Beautician and the Beast starring Timothy Dalton.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I have no idea who Fran Drescher is.
That's okay. First of all, that's weird. I need to know if your wife knew this when she married you. Like, did she know you didn't know who Fran Drescher was?
You don't have to like Fran Drescher, but you should know who she is.
Right. I feel like that's the
I-
kind of thing you have to disclose before marriage.
I don't know who this is. I've never watched The Nanny. I'm looking at all these photos of her. I've never seen her before. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, so that's interesting. But you still said you liked that scene even though you didn't know who she was.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it was more of the interaction with like the young hipster crowd, who
Yeah.
really appreciate the weirdest things. And I'm like, okay, so Fran Drescher is some icon from some TV show. For all I knew, it was a fictional thing. But I was like, okay, they like this weird thing. For instance, I really like that Too Many Cooks. That weird video. I was like, okay, it must be something from a show like that's based off of. And so it was the interaction of the young hipsters with this, 80s, 90s TV show, and then with these 50-year-old women. It was a good interaction between all of them that really evolved, because at first they're like, oh, you guys are just like old people, but then they were like, no, you guys are brilliant people. I was like, oh, that does work out. And then you see the interaction with the blonde with Jade, and she's like, I really like you. And she's like, it'll be $600.
See, that scene didn't work for me so much. The whole them going to the art gallery, because I didn't know what they were trying to do, what they were trying to say, in terms of the movie, not what they were saying. Because at first they're just asking questions seemingly to be obnoxious, when no one was really obnoxious to them. They just didn't get the art, which is whatever. And then they just start going off on, yeah, you millennials nowadays. And it was kind of like, where's this coming from? I don't understand what's happening, why they're acting like this. It was a very bizarre scene that really led to nothing for the group at large.
Yeah.
Other than Val, that's her name, Paula Pell, Val, who had the crush on Jade.
Okay.
But I don't know. That was one of the issues I had with this movie, is like, it's very, like, you've seen this stuff 100 times. It's very cliched, very, oh, of course one of them is going to have a death scare. Of course one of them lost their job and she's the overeager planner, which I feel like Amy Poehler was playing a depressed version of Leslie Knope.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, one of them. I was very confused about Anna Taylor. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right. I'm probably not. Like her character, she owned a pizza parlor, but she's going to do a TV show, but we don't know what the show's up. That wasn't really like developed well, other than she has this job offer. Is she going to take it or not? But we don't know what the job offer actually is. She hosting the show? Is she just producing it?
Yeah, and generally when you accept things, it's, they're moving on up.
It like that was very vague. Like what job did Amy Poehler have that?
Yeah, and why did she get laid
job?
off? Why did she get laid off?
Is it a job that's like very like they're discontinuing the job altogether? Like why she can't get another job? Or, I mean, yeah, when you lose a job, you're going to be depressed about it. But it seemed like this is the end of my life. I'm never going to be having this again.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot, like I didn't quite understand. Like I liked this cast. It was a fun group of people. It was fun seeing them interact. Because I like that era of SNL, and so it's fun seeing all these group of actresses interact with one another. But I felt like the writing the characters weren't developed enough for me to like fully grasp what they're totally down about. Like there's the one character who was like, "Oh, we don't know if you're gonna make it until you're actually here." Like I didn't know she had like a thing until they brought it up at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. I remember them joking about that at the beginning, but like I don't know. I was hoping for more.
Jen, defend this movie.
Okay, so I think first of all, like, yes, was the movie clearly written in a weekend, possibly while people were drunk on wine? Absolutely.
I can see that.
I mean, I think sometimes you have performers. It was kind of interesting when I was watching the movie and they kept like using their character names. I just kept being like, you know what? Just say like Amy Poehler. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're fine with it. Like, like there kind of comes a point. There's definitely movies out there where I kind of feel like I'm watching somebody's vacation. Like think of any movie Adam Sandler's ever done. Right?
Thank you for bringing that up, because when I was watching this movie yesterday, I'm sorry to interject, but it's on my mind. I gotta say it.
It's a podcast. That's what we do.
This movie reminded me of like the female version of what Adam Sandler does every summer. He and his buddies want to go on vacation somewhere, so they decided to make a movie at that location spot.
Yeah.
Yes. So
and no shame.
So, like, do I think this is like a tax write-off vacation for some of these people? Absolutely. And you know what? I can appreciate, like, look, like, recognize game. Like, they got Netflix to pay for their vacation. They got to try a bunch of wines. Tina Fey got to show up for, like, 20 seconds and, still get to, like, hang out with her buddies. Like, I think, they made this movie. They were like, okay, what's the plot of this movie? Who cares? There are no men. They don't matter. And I can really appreciate that they like kind of went in and they were just like, this is the thing we're gonna do. Now look, I think all of your critiques of the movie are completely valid. I don't think I don't think they necessarily developed everything well. Well, let me clarify. I think all of Nick's criticisms are valid. I think
Kyle, you're
that's harder to like.
It's because I called it a chick flick, isn't it?
Well, I think that's kind of unfortunate. I think if we just write off all movies aimed at women as chick flicks, like I think there's no equivalent like term for movies aimed at dudes, and I think that's
there's totally movies aimed at dudes.
I mean, John Wick.
Yeah, but we don't have a disparaging gender-based name for them.
Dad fiction.
Yeah, not a real phrase. Just something you made up for the second.
Dad films are a true thing. Anything with Liam Neeson, is it?
Yeah, like your Liam Neeson, John Wicks, where you have your slightly older than middle-aged and up action films.
Or like, you hurt my daughter, I'll kill you.
Well, I have no children, so I don't know of this phrase. But okay, but even so, it doesn't have quite the cultural critique that a chick flick as a term does. But I'll give you that maybe that term exists among somebody. But so anyway, so like, can I defend the movie as a piece of art? I don't know, but I think I can defend it as, look, if Netflix is going to keep pouring money into the losing venture that is making movies, and at least for the time being they are, I think it's fair that, women get in on this, like, what if we just get Netflix to pay for our vacation? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it,
I'll give them that. Then kudos
Yeah.
to you. I will give you a 5 stars for that you guys got to. I mean, you guys also are celebrities, so you could easily pay for this on your own terms.
Oh, definitely.
But
Yeah, they
I'll
could've-
give it to
they
you.
could have paid for their own vacation, but Adam Sandler could also pay for his own vacation. And I think too, it kind of depends how you're watching it. Like, as with anything, like I think if you're watching this while doing, the laundry, I think you're gonna have a different reaction. But when I watched it, it was with some girls, and we were all drinking wine, and I think that helped.
Yeah.
So, but it was, I enjoyed it. I don't, I agree. You can watch this movie and never think about it ever again. And that's okay. I don't think you have to ever think about it again. But I liked it a lot. I liked that, first of all, I think wine is a really interesting topic that, like, they haven't really, like, there was, what was that movie called?
Sideways?
Sideways. Yeah. There was Sideways. But other than that, there hasn't been a lot of, like, cultural wine stories, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, no,
especially
the representation of wine tasting, I was like, that is so real.
Hashtag wine represent.
Yeah.
I loved when they would be drinking and they'd be like, you should be tasting some sediment now. And they'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you know what? That's exactly what it is to go to a wine tasting.
Yeah.
I think there's interesting cultural stories there. Look, you don't ever have to watch Wine Country, but if you can watch one thing on Netflix, I'm going to go ahead and throw out a recommendation for everybody, which is...
Behind the Curve.
The Christmas Prince?
Well, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I guess you have a lot more recommendations to get on people, because if you haven't seen, if you're not in the Christmas Prince universe, I don't know what to tell you. We already reviewed it. It's already phenomenal.
I cannot wait for the next one.
The third one, yeah.
Right, the Christmas baby.
Yeah.
We're totally doing that one for podcast.
I have already taken the whole week off.
Nice.
But I'll say this, like, I think if you want to watch a really interesting wine movie, this was recommended to me by a friend. It was called Sour Grapes.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that with? I think it was written by Larry David of Seinfeld fame.
No. This is a different thing. This is a documentary about a guy who was, I want to say, Laotian or something. Anyway, he comes to America and he basically, like, fakes being he was supposed to be like the heir to a fortune somewhere, and so he starts buying large quantities of wine, and he was also like a super taster, so he could taste things and like know kind of their, close to what their chemical properties were. So he basically faked a bunch of bottles of wine, which he then sold at auction, or got sold at auction. And the government got involved, and basically, he's now in jail for 10 years. And it is a fascinating movie, because I think the super, these people who go out and spend, $100,000 to throw a wine party for their buddies. Like, I know nothing of them, and I found them fascinating. And, so that's, like, fascinating in and of itself. But then when you also throw in that, like, everybody is, everyone who's getting cheated by this guy are all people who can, like, afford to have $4 million worth of fake wine in their wine cellar. So it's like, it's one of those rare documentaries where you don't feel bad for anyone who's getting fucked over. You're like, people are getting fucked over, and it's great.
Yeah.
One of them is a Koch brother. Like, he's not from politics the way the other two are, but he's like their brother. And he's like, I have this fake bottle of Thomas Jefferson wine. And I'm like, this is fascinating. I don't know why you're on camera, but thank you. So anyway, so that's definitely, like, if I had to pick, like, a cultural movie that everyone should watch about wine, look, you don't need to see Wine Country, but maybe you can just leave it on the TV while you're doing your laundry, on mute, whatever. I don't care. I don't judge.
I listen with closed captioning for quite a bit.
Vacations.
Yeah, I'll give you that. You can watch this folding laundry, but you could also watch Ancient Aliens folding laundry.
What is Ancient Aliens?
Oh my gosh.
It's a show on the quote-unquote History Channel that talks about how aliens have been visiting our planet for, ever.
I can't.
And it has that guy with the weird hair.
Giorgio
Did they
Tsoukalos.
also invent the pyramids?
Well, obviously. Duh.
I mean, they didn't invent the pyramids. They built them for the Egyptians. Duh.
You might have seen the meme online where it has the guy with the weird hair. He says, like, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was probably aliens.
I like that you refer to it as the weird hair.
Because that's what he's, I think, known for.
It is.
I've seen that. I don't watch the show, but I've seen clips where you see over the years his hair gets, like, weirder and weirder and weirder.
And I think he just embraces it. Like, I don't know if he's legit or anything, but, I mean, he's still my hero. I mean, he's among the ilk of Bob Ross. So.
Love me a Bob Ross.
Yes, you do. All right, so what else do we got going on?
I got nothing else to say about this movie.
Look, like I said, get Amy Poehler a free vacation every year. That's what I'm here for.
More power to her.
Absolutely. And,
maybe they'll do a follow-up or something. Or not a follow-up, but like Adam Sandler had like a so many year deal with Netflix to develop movies. I wonder if Amy Poehler got a similar thing.
That would be amazing. I would deeply enjoy that. Because, I think Amy Poehler has given so much to us. I think we owe her a vacation every year. Also, Maya Rudolph. She's so delightfully weird.
Yeah.
That is true.
So, closing thoughts. I think I've already vented about this movie. It may be my due to my lack of educational or information on what a chick flick is. I just know straight up, I did not enjoy this movie. As the Graveyard Queen told me, I'm not the demographic for this, which I will give. I imagine that there are a lot of people who like this, but I cannot help but feel like it was a subpar bridesmaids movie. Definitely not the worst Netflix movie, but it was okay. They looked like they were having a good time. I feel like they could have given a better performance, but also with the characters, what they were, I'm not really sure that they could have done much.
I'm disappointed that there was no payoff with the Molly.
Yes.
I thought that was hilarious that, like, because you're like, oh, that's Chekhov's Molly, right? Like, obviously they're going to do a scene on Molly.
Like, I thought, like, at the end of the movie, after all their problems are resolved and they're all happy, they're like, hey, let's do the Molly! And they're all in the hot tub or wherever they were at the movie, and they're, smoking the joint. That's how the movie will end. But they never
Do you not know what a Molly is?
It's, I don't know, some kind of drug.
Sure. It's not a joint. But anyway,
oh, it's the ecstasy or something, right?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
No, I thought that was like weirdly hilarious because I will say, look, I think that the drug scene in movies is generally pretty boring. Like, I think it should be more interesting, and it's never interesting when characters get high off something.
Wait, have you seen You've seen The Night Before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you remember that drug scene where Seth Rogen gets like a little bag or a little box?
Yeah.
Wasn't that great?
No, I just never liked the drug scene. I'm always like, well, okay, cool, but like.
Yeah, but it was really funny because like she got all the drugs, but like she didn't know the proportions of it, so there was just like a little bit of weed, but like a lot of coke.
Right.
Because she didn't know, and it was funny. Do you get it?
All right, you know what?
Moving on, Jen.
I hereby absolve you from ever having to watch a comedy again. I didn't know. I didn't know you didn't know about comedies.
Yeah, I mean, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, I think, is the funniest movie of all time. So, and I think that says a lot about my feelings on comedies. And Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I could watch that on repeat.
I will say, Jen, I did like that scene when they brought out the drugs and they're like, oh wait, how's this going to mix with my medication?
Yeah.
that was genuinely funny. Like, good job, writer.
Yeah.
That was clever.
I also wonder about that every time I see a drug scene in a movie. Aren't any of these people on anything? Like, should they cover this with their physician? So many questions.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. Netflix. I think the thing that's cool about Netflix movies is, like I said, you don't have to necessarily go for the 4 quadrants. I think a lot of times with kind of movies that you're seeing right now, they're going after the broadest possible audience. And I think a lot of times when you're going after an incredibly broad audience, you end up, first of all, with like humor that's not that interesting. And second of all, you end up leaving out a lot of people. You end up, focusing on like very, suburban middle class white people. You end up missing out on a lot of really interesting stories you could be telling. So, as much as I'm definitely someone who likes to see movies in theaters and everything, but I do think that all the streaming movies have been really good in terms of getting, more diverse stories on the screen. Like, you just don't have that many movies. Like, so right at the same time Wine Country came out, there was a movie, which I did actually see in theaters, called Palms, which was focused on a bunch of 70-year-old women.
Oh, yeah.
Starring Diane Keaton.
Diane Keaton. I was going to say Meryl Streep, but...
No, Diane Keaton. And Diane Keaton and her friend decide to start up a senior cheerleading squad, which is, and, like, is the movie good? No. But is it cool that they're showing older women, this, like, underserved demographic? That is cool. But the movie did terribly. Like, it didn't make any money. I think that's in part because you haven't trained people over a certain age to think movies are directed towards them. So I think the good thing about the Netflix is that you have the ability to kind of go beyond that 4 quadrants or the really broad base, and to put out, stuff like Always Be My Maybe, which is like the second Asian American rom-com basically ever. I think it's really cool that you have the opportunity to tell more stories. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll stick with that, but like, at least for right now, I think the streaming revolution is bringing some kind of new audiences in and telling new stories, and I like that.
Nick?
I got nothing.
All right.
Sure.
We ready to close this bad boy out?
Yes.
All right, guys.
All right. I'm the Gorehound.
I'm Jen.
And I'm the Nick.
And we are the All New Culture Cast. Catch you next week.
Bye.
You've been listening to the All New Culture Cast, where every episode is all new. Check out new episodes and our back catalog at allnewculturecast.libsyn.com. We could also be found on iTunes. The All New Culture Cast, a Saltwater production, copyright 2019. Thanks for listening.